All right. Hello, everyone. I am Mark, the stock market jobber. Hope you're having a good day. Well, I know a lot of my students are because the market's kind of playing out pretty much exactly how we thought it would with these AI stocks. So let's take a look at them. And actually, let's look at the broader markets and then we're going to look at the AI stocks. Well, they're really semiconductor stocks and figure out how to make money if they go farther down. And I think that they will. So if you come check out my website, please, Mark Petrino, substack.com. Is there a dot in there? Yeah, markpetrino.substack.com. I'm going to take this off the screen so you can see a little better here. All right. One of the things that happened today, which was really interesting, is it's something that we traders call bad action. It's you can't really quantify it, but it's when things kind of don't act the way you thought they would. For example, Google reported these like blowout earnings. Stock was down 7.5%. And it looks like it's taken out what should be support. This was support today for a while. It got down there, and it was the very end of the day that we saw the final leg down. And a lot of times when you get selling at the very end of the day, it continues over tomorrow into tomorrow. But really good numbers, and the stock acted really bad. So bad action. Now, why would this happen? Well, the people that want to own Google say to themselves, "Oh, I want to buy Google. It's going to report earnings. The earnings are going to be great. The stock's going to be up huge." So the people go out there and buy it. And then what happens? Well, the market runs out of buyers. And if there's no buyers, it ain't going any higher. Markets need buyers to push the price higher. If everyone who wants to have a position has it, well, it's not going to go any higher because no one else is going to buy. We saw the same thing with Bitcoin. Uh, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? This is where the term buy the rumor, sell the news comes from. So look at Bitcoin here. Everyone knows that there was this news that Bitcoin was going to be approved to have these, well, all these firms were going to be approved to have these ETFs of Bitcoin. So the people that wanted to buy it bought it ahead of the news. The news finally came out, and look what happened. It went down. Bad action. The original, well, not original, but the first sign of the bad action was here. We went 3 days sideways. So the news should be good. Well, the news is really good. The stock should be up, but no, alas, it is trading sideways. After a few days, some of the people that bought are like, wow, this isn't looking or this isn't acting like the way I thought it would. So I better go sell. And they don't really have a lot of people that are willing to buy it. So the buyers know they're in the driver's seat and they can just show discounted bids. And the sellers get anxious, they want to sell. So they have to hit the discounted bid, and that forces a downtrend. All right, let's go through here real quick because this is a particular market at this time. It's really not that much to focus on other than, well, I mean, there's a couple of things to focus on. The main thing is these AI stocks. All right, S&P, big move lower today. Day traders or short-term traders, I'd be looking for some support around 480. Technology sector, biggest sector in the market, real weak action here. This looks like it could go even farther. This is a what we could call a breakaway gap, and these things tend to have some follow through. And a lot of times in the markets, when you get a fast move up going one way, if the market consolidates and comes back to those same price levels going the other way, it tends to make fast moves through it. And that's because it traded on the upside so quickly that there just wasn't a lot of time for it to be there to be this big like vested interest or a lot of people to get really interested. So when we get back to those levels, there's just not as many buyers as there would typically be. You can see this on pretty much any chart. See here, fast move down, go slowly, fast move up, as opposed to something like this where we just go sideways. All right, now let's go right into the AI thing here. Personally, I am sick of AI, and you may be too. But as traders, we got to deal with what the market shows us. So most of the stocks within this little area here have been going down over the last few days, if not the last week. Nvidia was holding up. This is 20% of this industry. This is way more important to the industry than, say, AMD or Intel, for example. But now the uptrend is finally broken. If you look at this, this is what we call an uptrend. You notice how there's like no kind of real backtracking, maybe a teeny bit there, or teeny bit there. This is the first time since this rally started in the beginning of January where we're actually kind of reversing to the point where we're getting below the prior day's trading. And this could be the first sign that the trend is changing. Trend lines are just like a graphical illustration of, it's like a wake-up call. Oh, hey, across the trend line, hey, things might be turning. It's not like a support or resistance level. This is the industry of the semiconductors. Notice how we've broken the support. I would think that this is going to accelerate and there's going to be some more trades on the downside here. Just quickly go through some of these names and then we'll talk about potential way to profit from it. But here is Broadcom. This is the second biggest stock in the industry. I actually wrote about this on my newsletter. Hopefully you all can subscribe to my newsletter. And there it is right down there. Mark Petrino at substack.com. Well, actually, sorry, Mark Petrino, CMT.substack.com. Anyway, you know where to find me. So AVGO, actually, what we're going to do real quick here is we're going to look at the stocks that are in this industry. These are the holdings. So NVIDIA, 19.5%. Biggest one. Taiwan Semi, second biggest. Completely turning over. Here's a big gap. There's an old saying, gaps tend to refill. And this is like the same principle I just mentioned about the fast move up, fast move down. We closed here. The next day we opened here. There was no trading in here. One of the main reasons why you get support is you get people who sold that get remorseful when the price goes higher. And they say, if the price gets back to my level, I'm going to buy my shares back. So if it never traded there, there was no one who sold. So this looks like it could be set up for a big move lower. We got the action today. The bad action today. Advanced Micro. These stocks have been turning over for basically a week, but the media is so focused on NVIDIA that but that's all you really hear about. But it kind of masks what's going on. So industry very weak. If you're an options trader, you can pick your favorite stock that you think is going to go down the most. The one we just looked at there, man, that big gap, that looks pretty enticing to me. Because as we just talked about, gaps tend to refill. The thing here would be to wait for it to like break this support. So don't just try to get in it yet, because there's a chance it might be support. There tends to be support at former support levels. But if this support gives way and say it gets down to like 110, that's where you think about jumping in. And 105, so you got 5 points there. Now, if you're not an options trader, you can check this out, SOXS. And if you are an options trader, you could really clean house with this thing if you get it in the right direction. This is a leveraged ETF that goes in the opposite direction of the semiconductor industry by 3 times. So if the semis are down by 2%, this will be up by 6%. Semis are down by 4%, this will be up roughly 12%. So this is a way that if you're not an options trader, you can just get exposure. You can even get leverage. And if you're an options trader, you can get the double whammy. You can buy calls on this. And if the market goes down and this goes up, it could be a pretty nice return. All right, everyone, make sure you check back because we're going to be following this. Once again, I'm going to show my social media stuff here, if you can call it that. So I have a newsletter and we comment on YouTube and so forth, which you probably know because you're probably watching this there. All right, everyone, thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon.